You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. So, hang on a second. I left my air conditioning unit on and I'm being blown with air here. I need to turn that off so I can speak freely without having a windstorm. Well, here we go. So, I spoke with one of those kids that I healed the other day. I came outside and I was looking around, and he's always looking around for somebody to speak to. So he comes running over my direction, and as he's walking over towards me, this car's headlight enveloped him, and light shot out from him. And I thought, well, I got to make sure this kid knows about Jesus. Maybe that's what that meant. So I didn't breach the topic right away. And it's funny because when you speak with him, he's like, I like speaking with people. I'm always talking to people. That's what he says. But his name is Paul. His first name's actually a different name, but he goes by Paul. And he's one of the kids I healed the other day, and now I see why Satan had focused upon him. And at a certain point, I said, "You know about Jesus, right?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I know about the Bible." So his father is definitely into the Bible, but his got a few issues, and he's not with his father any longer. He's staying with his mother and her boyfriend. And he really knows the Bible well. And for context of his demeanor and enthusiasm, I would say that one young lady that was preaching, I think it's in the Pentecostal church, and she preaches about hearing the rain. I can hear the rain, is what she says. And maybe I'll post that after this. Same kind of energy. I told him, you used to be a preacher. You should start preaching now. Parents, his mother will probably hate me for it. So I'm going to show him that young lady, and maybe she can connect and motivate, or he can connect and receive the rain, or whatever it is. But I told him, next time I see you, I'm going to bring my iPad out and I'm going to show her to you. But he had a lot of information about the Bible. He also had a lot of information that sounded like extreme right-wing fundamental Baptist information. I said, you should be in Christian school, because I used to go to Christian school. But he'd be great for it, and he should really start preaching now. Hopefully he can do that naturally. If I remind him enough, hopefully he can receive that spirit, because that's all it is. And I try to explain to him how that works, how the spirit works, and how we don't have any power outside the spirit of God. Anytime somebody has some ability to do anything, I said, even us here speaking about God, we would be dead. Satan would kill us for what we're saying here, this truth that we're speaking, if God wasn't here protecting us and empowering us to even speak the words. And you don't speak to Paul much; he speaks to you. It reminds me of myself in my better days. That was great, though. It was great seeing him and speaking with him. I'm hoping I can show him that video, and maybe when he's another young person preach, he can start thinking about it. And he's being homeschooled, so it'll be a great opportunity add something to his studies. So again, obviously, when I saw that headlight of that car envelop him and shine forth from him, it was a sign from God that he did not hide his light under a bushel. That's for sure. He that his light shine forth. And he was telling me about the Bible. And he goes, "What version do you read?" I mean, he's a young kid, man. It's great stuff. I said, "Why? You only read the KJV, I bet." Right. I only read the KJV. I said, I let people read what they need to read because we don't know what they need to do to get saved. We leave that up to God, but I do prefer the KJV. But I said, I'll read the Greek and the Hebrew. He goes, "Yeah, we had this big book and it had the Greek and the Hebrew in it." I think that is that the Strong's dictionary or it's the Greek lexicon. But there's something that the KJV people use. I think it might be Strong, might be in Strong's. I'm not sure. So it was an eye opening experience. I usually don't like present myself for him to speak to me. I just kind of like, "Hi, how you doing?" And just, you know, just be friendly like that. A lot of people speak to him, so I just kind of, it was the first times I presented myself, but it gave an opportunity because other times there may have been a less of an opportunity to speak about the Lord or receive that sign from God to preach the subject about Jesus because you don't necessarily with the children do that today because the parents can be very offended. So I was very careful in how I did that. I didn't want to offend because, you bring it up to a child, you could ruin the whole family's appearance, or not appearance, perception of Christianity. They might be offended and say, "Oh, these darn Christians trying to brainwash my child." So instead, he was trying to brainwash me. I said, that stuff, yes and no. Yeah, yes, the FBI doesn't like us, but they're not behind every tree. I swear to God, he told me the FBI is trying to kill Christians. I didn't tell him that. He told me. I swear to God. I don't swear. I guess I'm not supposed to swear, but I promise. I promise on a stack of Bibles. He told me, "Yeah, you got to watch out for the FBI because they don't like us speaking about Jesus." That's what he told me. Great kid, let me tell you. But I think he should start preaching now. I want to try to get him a little motivated for that when I see him. Because I think he has the natural ability. He just has to receive that spirit and focus on a sermon, and he'd be able to do it. He'd be able to do it real easy because he doesn't stop talking, and he loves the Bible. He loves the KJV Bible, and he likes the Greek and Hebrew translations. So he has everything he needs to. He might not have it now, but he knows everything he needs to start preaching. But again, God blesses in moments like that. And I tried to explain to him the healing. I said, you have the power to heal. You can heal people. God can heal people through you. You can't do it alone. But if you move your mind to heal people, I say, if you see somebody sad, you heal them. If you see somebody sick, you heal them. That's just what you do. So I'll remind him on those two fronts that he needs to start preaching and he needs to think about people and heal them whenever he can. Because how can you know if somebody doesn't tell him? See, that model of instruction is throughout our lives, not only about the basic gospel of Jesus Christ. We can use that to help people understand healing, help them understand what it is to be a preacher, things such as that. But I think it'd be great if this kid starts preaching within the next few months. And he knows who to watch out for. He knows not to trust certain people. He should be running a church. Those people trust anybody that comes along and waves a dollar bill or a phony flag. Not to say our flag is phony, but when the deep state waves the American flag, they're waving it Nazi style. I'm not lying. I didn't bring it up, and the kid told me you got to watch out for the FBI because they don't like Christians and they don't want us to be speaking about Jesus. There's no greater place to live than Tyler, Texas. But he's been around. He was up in Oklahoma City. He used to go to church there, he said. but he said he was really small. Not that he's that tall now. And then he said he lived in Indianapolis for a little while, and that's where his father got locked up. I said, I've been both of those places. I wouldn't recommend living in either one. Big spirit of possession in both those places. And church might be emanating. So again, he brought all the subject matter up. I didn't bring it up. I just explained my part of it, my perception of it, and what I experienced in it. But God got me there. It's like, the gotcha, because he comes walking very fast, almost running towards me because he wants to talk to somebody. And I told him about when I was a kid. I said, when I was a kid, I was alone. My father had died. My mother was sleeping because she had been working. And I prayed to God that I could play with these kids. They didn't even notice me. They couldn't even see me. They were playing hide and seek. And I said, God, and I told you that I would eat kosher. I told God I'd eat kosher if you had these kids play with me. And immediately, as soon as I uttered those words, the young lady turned around and said, hey, and I think her name was Terry. She's an African-American girl. And she said, Terry could box, man, for her age, let me tell you. I had a boxer one time. But she said, you want to play hide and seek? And I said, sure. And, so God's real. I want them to know that God's real and God's that close. I said, I'm trying to explain the closeness of that spirit and that personal relationship. And he understood personal relationship, but, sometimes, again, preachers say you can understand with your mind, but miss it with your heart. So, again, he brought up the subject matter, so I guess I should be offended, and I'll go complain to his mother that he was preaching to me. I think all I did was, what did I say, Jesus or something? He actually may have brought up the Bible first, and then I said Jesus. But God showed me his light shine forth. It was, again, a headlight of a car, but he was silhouetted in that, and flooded in that light. Or the light was flooding around him. He was silhouetted, and then it shone forth. So when I was speaking to, he definitely didn't hide his light under a bushel. It was shining, and he was full of energy and joy, and knew everything that a fundamental Baptist preacher needs to know. And really, even evangelist. I think if he started preaching now, but in the next couple of years, he could probably be an evangelist, and people would pay money to have him come into town. I think he's got that much promise. Well, praise God for those moments. It doesn't get any better than that. But he knew about the deep state and what they do to people. He knew about it. I said, you can't be paranoid about it, but it happens. And it's not going to happen, every moment. And he started speaking about devices and all. I said, well, yeah, if they want to listen to you, they can, but they're not generally listening to you. And I said, well, you said anything with batteries. I said, well, that would take extra special work. They would have to know you were going to buy that, and then they would rig it up. It can't just be everything with batteries. So I guess I'm there to focus him on, the percentage of risk there actually is versus what he's been hearing from the fundamental Baptist circle. He was telling me, I don't think we're fundamental Baptists, but I said we're Baptists, but I don't think we're. But it doesn't sound like Southern Baptist to me. Sounds like independent fundamental Baptist to me. So again, I don't think he knew that part. He didn't know what denomination he was. I blinked the mic there. Hopefully, to make just a loud noise. But I don't think he knew what denomination he was in. He was going to church, but he sure sounds like fundamental Baptist, independent, and a very, 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 very independent fundamental Baptist church. But it's great, man. I just thoroughly enjoyed speaking with him because I saw that energy, that light, that joy in speaking about God. It's just he needs a little bit more direction. And I think he's a self-starter. I can see him. I mean, he can make it. He can make it. He can be an evangelist very easily, and one that people would really want to go see. because he just, that's what he wants to do. He wants to speak to people. And what better thing to speak about than God and his plan for each one of us? Well, praise God in all that you do. Praise God.
You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.